Just a real quick point of business leading off today's video. Yesterday, for those of you who are signed up over at the Patreon channel at the $1 level, we dropped a brand new video, but there was an audio problem with it. It was kind of scratchy and hard to hear. I have since corrected it this morning, put a brand new video up over there. It's the same topic, but we go into it a little deeper. We show some different graphics and some different information. It's basically the same idea. North American marriages are by definition, by law, not biblical marriages. Regardless of they're one man or one woman or a preacher or whatever, you have to go into what constitutes an actual marriage biblically to understand that. Now, we can't, of course, talk about that in detail here at the Florida Maquis YouTube channel because of the censors. So if you would like to understand what's going on with that psychological operation, how the meanings of words have been changed, you can join us. It's only $1 per month for that video and a couple hundred others as well. We've got 4 or 5 videos up now for the $5 level, folks. It's not, of course, a requirement to be at the $5 level, but many people have joined. It's kind of a different level of info. $1 level, we talk about basic psyops. $5 level, it's the effects of those psyops and how people react to them. It's more informational. So either way, appreciate all of you who are signing up over there, getting brand new folks every day, filing in. We're having to pull the folding chairs out of the closets in the back to fit everybody for the videos, so to speak. So I really appreciate it. It gives me parity against the censors here at YouTube because we've partnered with Vimeo and it's a private server, which I have to pay for. We can do that. There's no way for them to get in there and see what I'm talking about. So that's why I'm very circumspect about getting into the details of it here. Now, would love to have you fully refundable first 90 days, no questions asked. Whether you sign up at the $1 level, $5 level, annual, doesn't matter. You've got 90 days to parse it all out for yourself. If it's not for you, full refund, no issues. Now, after a couple months, we have actually heard from the Patriot Nurse, and I noticed something in her most recent video titled Inflation, Domestic Conflict in World War III, the news has it wrong. At about the 703, 704, and other places, there's something about the video that's a little bit different, and I wonder if people can point it out. You're going to have to be pretty sharp and pay very close attention to what you're seeing. But I think once people look closely, they'll see what it is. Now, I'm just going to leave that there because I don't want to spoil any surprises. Now, in today's video here, I have an honest question for the gold folks, the folks out there that continually push the idea of using gold as a hedge against this, hedge against that, safe place to put your money, all this nonsense. And I guess I shouldn't say it that way. To them, it's not nonsense, but theoretically, it is, because I used this image specifically to lead off. What is it that gives gold its real value? Meaning, if somebody came to you with a case like this that was locked and they unlocked it and they had all these trays and these little coins and they're all sealed and they all have the inscript on them and the U.S. Mint Director certified, you would believe these are gold just by the imagery on it. Now, what if I came to you with a big bag of this, even though it was gold, but no case, no proof, no documentation? But I'm going to give you my golly honest, I swear it's gold. You probably wouldn't trust me. You would trust this, but you wouldn't trust this. Why? Because of what's printed on it. Because of the plastic case. Because of the government seal. Now, here's where you can kind of flip things around. This is where the psychological operation comes in. How many of you ever have stumbled across an old drawer, an old box or something that had all these old tokens from the arcade? They said no cash value on them. They were gold-ish in color. They're worthless. Now, let's say you had one of these up in your closet somewhere or under a bed, and one night you were gone and somebody broke in to your house. And they found this. They probably wouldn't steal it. It's not worth anything. It's literally printed right on it, no cash value. Now, Here's where the thinking man is going to get this. What if you had actual gold, but you wanted to hide its value? You wanted to make sure they didn't find this. You wanted to make sure they absolutely didn't find this. So you took your gold, you melted it down, you created your own coins, and then you got yourself one of those cheap little stamps, and you stamped all of your actual gold with no cash value, arcade token, Happy's Arcade Palace, and then you got yourself some spray paint and spray painted it kind of a cheap chromy gold look. And then you threw them in a drawer, and you got a whole bunch of different kinds. You see, it would be actual gold still, wouldn't it? But nobody would bother it. Why? Nobody would bother it because of what was stamped on it. People would just look at it and dismiss it out of hand. Just like people look at this and automatically assume it's gold. You see, if it's in the seal, how do you know? If you haven't broken the seal and you haven't put this coin in your hand, how do you know it's gold? For a fact, for sure. The only reason you believe it's gold is because the U.S. government told you it's gold. The U.S. Mint told you for sure it is what it says it is. Honest John? Scout's honor? How do you know? You see, you put those coins next to actual Byzantine gold coins. These are the ones found in Israel. The ones found in Israel are priceless. Why? Because of what's printed on them and where they were found. It's gold like anybody else's gold. But depending on numismatic value and what is stamped on them, it can be worth a lot more. Case in point, gold coins worth $290,000 found under kitchen floorboard of English couple's home. Now, the actual market value of the gold is only $115,000. But because of where they found it, and pay attention, what is stamped on it, the picture and superscript, the image and superscript, it's worth well over double that. 1,400 years old, found in Israel from the Byzantine Empire. Priceless. Probably couldn't put a price on them. Same thing they find these with Roman coins. Now, this is my question. You see, gold can be dug out of the ground. People say you can't print money. You can dig gold out of the ground. And that's exactly what's going on all through Brazil and Venezuela. What if they would come across multiple thousands of metric tons, a huge vein of it out there in Brazil, and they would just start pulling out Olympic-sized swimming pool amounts of gold every week and dumping it on the market? How Venezuelan gold is trafficked through Brazil's borderland of the United States. They're already doing this. Now, let's say one of these guys would come across the border, and he would be desperate for something to eat, desperate for a place to stay, and he had pocketed some of this, and he had somehow gotten a hold of it and brought it all the way to America. Would you trust it? I mean, looking at this guy's hands, I'd trust it. Given that he's got it all wrapped up, a little piece of gold like this. Would you give him a meal? Would you give him a meal for a week? Would you take him to the grocery store? Place to stay? Would you take the chance? Now, what if I told you this has all been hashed out thousands of years ago by Jesus himself? You see, even Jesus knew the only reason you have any value for this coin whatsoever is because it has a picture of Caesar on it and a superscript that was Caesar's. Therefore, render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's. For those who are not familiar with the Matthew scripture. Then when the Pharisees took counsel how they might entangle Jesus in his talk, and they sent out unto him their disciples with the Herodians, saying, Master, we know that thou art true, and teachest the way of God in truth. Neither carest thou for any man, for thou regardest not the person of men. Tell us, therefore, Jesus, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? You see, the real question was, we know Caesar uses our gold to purpose wickedness around the world and persecution. Are we facilitating that by giving those taxes. The same question people ask now about taxes here in America, about sending money to Washington, D.C. But Jesus perceived their wickedness and said, "Why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? Show me the tribute money." And they brought unto him a penny. And he said unto them, "Whose is this image and superscription?" They say unto him, "Caesar's." Saith he unto them, "Render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's." Meaning the value of that coin was given its value by Caesar and Caesar alone. And unto God the things that are God's. When they heard these words, they marveled and left him and went their way. And this is the entire point that I'm making here. Just go back to the gold blanks. The gold blanks that I just had in some, let's say I had them in a Publix plastic shopping bag, a grocery bag. And I said, "Oh yeah, these are every bit as valuable as yours." I might be able to make the allegation that mine are more. You know why? Because the random gold blanks I have in my Publix shopping bag, you can pick up and you can touch and you can hold with your hand and you can maybe, put it between your teeth and kind of see if it's soft like gold's supposed to be, and you can weigh it out and you can feel it. These, for all you know, this is spray painted lead. And the only person you have to trust is Washington, D.C. and the U.S. Mint? You can't take these out of the plastic. Once you take these suckers out of the plastic, that's it. Void. Now do you see what gives this its value? It's the piece of plastic. It's the little signature and the stamp that the government put on it, just like Jesus said. Just like Jesus said. Nothing has changed about gold. Nothing has changed about coins. Because you could take actual gold and throw a stamp on it that says it's worthless. And somebody opens up a drawer and they see a whole bunch of tokens that say no cash value. Crap, they're not going to sit there and debate, "Well, this might be gold." They're not going to do that. They're just going to shut the drawer and keep moving. And your gold will be perfectly safe. Why? Because you stamped it that way. Now, not an easy thing to do with actual money, though. Truck accidentally dropped tons of cash on the road, and everyone obviously went wild. Why is this? Why aren't people suspicious? Well, that's fiat currency. I'm not going to stop the car. Oh, that's, I was listening to this guy, Patriot 9997, Super Trump lover, and he told me that fiat currency isn't really backed by gold, so it's not worth anything. I'm just going to keep heading on down the road. I'm not going to stop and pick up all that fiat currency. It's worthless. Now do you see the point? This is the point. There are people out there that believe because of inflation that the value of the dollar is going down. That's not true. The value of the goods is going up. That's the issue. The dollar, the US dollar on the world markets right now has never been stronger. That's why Washington, D.C. was saying we're taking in record revenues. In total value of dollars, yes, because the U.S. dollar right now is super, super powerful. Most of those people coming here, most of those folks coming here are here for one reason. Because they know they can get paid in dollars. And they can send those dollars back to, remit those dollars back to Guatemala, back to Venezuela, back to Colombia, back to Panama. You see, an hour of digging a hole looking for gold is the exact same amount of effort whether you dig that hole for 1 hour in Venezuela or 1 hour in North America. 1 hour of work equals 1 hour of work. Maybe this is a better way of putting it. 1 hour of cleaning a bathroom, 1 hour of making beds, 1 hour of mowing a lawn, 1 hour of any basic activity is the exact same amount of effort in Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, or North America. What's the difference? In North America, you get paid 7 times as much to do the exact same thing. Maybe 10 times as much. Maybe 15 times as much. That's what this is all about. In dollars. In US dollars. So, the Bible even says, in the last days they will cast their gold and silver into the streets. Be worthless. It wouldn't surprise me, would not surprise me one bit if we would start to see massive amounts of gold, now that there is an alliance between Brazil and Venezuela, start flooding the world markets and catastrophically dropping the price of gold. You see, and that's the difference in the relation between the dollar and gold. Gold could go to zero. Dollar still worth a dollar. $200 worth of groceries is $200 worth of groceries, whether gold is $2,000 an ounce, $2 an ounce, or $2 million an ounce. But if the value of the dollar goes down, then gold goes haywire. So, anyway, just want to leave that there. If you'd like to join us for some basic Bible knowledge about marriage over at Patreon, I know it's a very touchy subject with some. Would love to have you, but it's fact. It's fact, and I think when you look at it in the context of history, it'll make sense as to why most American marriages, biblical or not, fail in the first 7 to 10 years. So, anyway, $1 a month, even less if you sign up for an entire year. There's a $5 level, but always a 10% discount if you sign up for the whole year. So, would love to have you, and like I said, you're helping me out a ton. God bless. Have a wonderful evening. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.